Welcome into another episode of the Laser Bros podcast. We are your hosts, Logan and Luke Lazarchik. Following week one of the NFL season, football is back. Football, it was good that the NFL action is back, but man, week one was a rough watch to say the least.
Yeah, it was bad. I think that. I think I said it in one of our group chats, but when you have four primetime games in week one, and all the week one primetime games are highly like
High
they
level
need to
teams.
be. Yeah, they're all going to be great teams. So you have 8 of the best teams all not playing on Sunday. And I think it makes sense that you have a lot of duds, and there were a lot of duds. A lot of things that, in terms of my overall predictions, I didn't. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. That's all I'll say. It was bad. Yeah,
Yeah, that
but
was like the first
it's
time
just
I've
week one
watched.
though. It's just week one though.
I hope to God week two is better. Week one, that was like the first time where I legitimately did not enjoy watching football. Like there was like a 30-minute time frame in the 12 o'clock games, like from that 2:30 to 3 o'clock time, where there's a lot of stuff going on because all the games are super close and there's kind of mayhem. But the overall product of those games were just bad. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was not good at all.
Well, there's 7 games this week that the spread is 6 or more.
I think week two we're gonna see some type of correction, some type of middle ground where we're gonna see it. I
Yeah,
don't think it's gonna be as crazy as it was in week one. So I'm hoping week two is better football. Week one that was rough. We both love watching football. Every Sunday we're watching from 12 to 10, and I legitimately did not enjoy myself.
it was
For
good from like two
the Sunday
twenty
night
to
game was
like
good.
3.
I
2:20
enjoyed the
to
Sunday
3
night
o'clock
game.
was good.
Yeah. But even then, like those games were not. They just weren't even good football. So hopefully week two's better. We're going to recap what happened in week one, and we're going to pick a few select games that we think stood out from the rest based on narratives, performances, etc. So the first one we'll start with, and you know, I wasn't as high on this team as Luke was. I did think they would be, or I mean, we'll see, but I do think they were going to be a legitimate contender in the NFC with the easy division. But man, the Falcons and Kirk Cousins, I think the alarm bells are ringing right now, and
I
I'll talk about it more. But you go ahead and talk about what you think.
I think it's simple. I literally think it's Kirk Cousins probably should not have been playing week one. Should he play week two? I mean, you're in a very complicated situation because let's say they said, you know what, Kirk's not fully ready with his Achilles injury. Let's play Penix. But let's say Penix goes 3-0, and then you just sign Kirk Cousins for no reason.
But that's the thing. That's why it's so concerning. Is that they had to know in the offseason.
Well, yeah, okay, they ran Mina Kimes, I think, tweeted it. She always has great tweets. She tweeted, I think it was 96% of the time, or I think she quote tweeted someone who tweeted it, but it was like 96% of the time they ran pistol. They didn't run one play action, which is
That may have
clearly
been Phil
saying,
Yates, but I
oh,
mean,
was it Phil Yates?
regardless, it was somebody.
I think he tweeted and she quote tweeted a good thing about it, but it's basically like, yeah, he can't drop back. I saw one of his picks. It's like he just couldn't put his back foot into the ground, and I thought he was going to be okay. So my thing with the Falcons was all in on Kirk, but maybe so you're hoping it's just first game back, so it's tough. But then now that he has a game under his belt, that's the hope. Now, is that the case? I don't know, but if he's playing like that, we may see Michael Penix this year. I think it'd take a while because Kirk Cousins.
If it's like that, here's the thing. There's so many teams that are making so many mind-boggling like decisions, and we'll talk about the Browns here soon too. The Falcons tampered with Kirk Cousins, and they had to know that his Achilles was not 100%. And then
He was already in the recovery process when he was signed. So
I know, but man, you give him $100 million, and then they draft Michael Penix. So it was like, should we have been more alarmed by the fact that they took Michael Penix 8th overall? We already knew. We were like, man, that was already a puzzling move. But should we have been more like, there may be something up because they took Michael Penix 8th overall?
I don't think the injury had anything to do with it.
I think they kind of hedged their bet and I think that kind of showed week 1. Atlanta, I think, is in trouble. And week 1, that was supposed to be a free win. Russell
And
Wilson,
not a free win.
not a free win, but
They
with
were
the
2.5
circumstances
point
of
favorites. You think it was a free win because the Steelers are, but the Steelers also have. That's like the worst
so
team.
when Justin Fields was named the starter, what was your confidence level in the Falcons?
But I thought Falcons were going to win, but at the same time, I remember stating that the Steelers could win because that defense and this is like the worst team to face in your first game back from Achilles injury. You're facing like the best pass rusher in the league. The defense is good everywhere. So looking with the benefit of hindsight, I think that we probably should have taken more into account. If Kirk's not fully ready or he's rusty or whatever, it's like this defense is going to get after him. And that's exactly what they did. And so I don't think it was supposed to be a gimme win. That's the best defense in football, but you were supposed to win, but it wasn't a gimme.
Okay. I would say a favorable matchup. Is that more?
I mean, not favorable in this circumstance now because I just explained.
The main reason I'm like a full on, not panic, but there are definitely worrisome signs. They face the Eagles and the Chiefs next 2 games in prime time, and Kirk Cousins is not good in prime time. And I hate using must win this early in the season, but I think week 2 for the Falcons is a must win.
No, that's ridiculous. Why would it be must win if you're in a bad division when you can? Let's say you start bad at
that's the only saving grace. But
then that's not a must win.
If they start 0-3, because if they lose, I don't think they beat the Chiefs. They could beat the Eagles. I don't know what I would say in that game, but for me, I think week 2 is a pivotal game. I think losing week 2, I think would be. I'm not saying their season's over, but starting 0-3 would.
I think you're completely wrong. Yeah, but okay. Here's the thing: they don't face any division games in their first 3 games. The division is not great, even though I feel a lot better about Tampa, even though they faced a bad defense in Washington. But remember the Bengals last year? Weren't they 0-3? And then they're 5-5.
I thought they were 0-2.
They had a bad start. They were bad, and then they got 5-5.
I think they played Carolina or not Carolina. The Cardinals week 3.
Well, they were 5-5, and then they lost Burrow, and they still almost made the playoffs. The Vikings were 0-3 or 0-4, and they lost Kirk Cousins, and they almost made the playoffs at one point. So you're not dead in the water.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
But you're when you call
for their situation.
No, Logan. When you call week 2 a must win, you're saying they're dead in the water. If they then face the Chiefs in week 3 and week 2 is a must win. I don't think it's must win. They could start out 0-3, and if Kirk's better, they're completely fine. They're not in a great division. You probably only need to win 9 games, maybe 10, but I'd probably pick 9. And so if you're a 4 seed instead of a 2 seed, but Kirk is healthy at the end of the year and you're playing better, then you're fine. So no, I'm more concerned. My only concern is Kirk Cousins' Achilles, and is he going to get back to himself? You could lose these next 2 games. And my opinion will only be judged on what I think of Kirk Cousins' Achilles, not on if they win or lose.
How many weeks before? And I don't even know. Even if they struggle these first 3, like they go 0-3, I don't think you bench Kirk Cousins because I still want to see him against like lower competition. But how soon do you think if they start 0-3? How soon do you think they start calling for Michael Penix there? And I'm not saying that they're going to, but what
weeks? If it's 6 weeks in and he looks the exact same as he did, where it's like. He doesn't look comfortable. He looks unhealthy. I think that's when it starts chirping. I think if it's week 10 and he's still just like, okay, he's not healthy.
Well, I don't think he'd be in there that long. I don't think he would make it to week 10 if he's still playing by that point.
I think he can make it to week 10 if they don't say, hey, we're going to take you out and like you're not even a backup. You're just out.
Because the thing is, his Achilles isn't going to get better. He's an aging player. Like playing on it, I don't think he's going to magically just make it get better.
I think he could get better. I don't think playing once a week we'll see. Because he looked fine in a lot of practice films, and so there's a chance it's just the first game. So I'm trying not to overreact.
And TJ Watt wrecked that game too. So it's like
you don't face many TJ Watts, even though you do face Chris Jones in week 3, and the Eagles have some good talent at the front. But TJ Watt is nuts.
Yeah. Another team and another quarterback where their situation is disastrous, even more of a disaster than Falcons. The Cleveland Browns. This game was more about how Cleveland looked than Dallas looked. I still have my same question marks about Dallas. It was a good win. Dak Prescott looked really good. Didn't really have to do much the second half because the defense just dominated the Browns. But for me, this is more about how Watson looked and the Browns overall, what their outlook is going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I do like what I saw from Cowboys, and I'm starting to really turn on how much I like Dak as a quarterback. I know he got paid $60 million; it's an overpay, but I'm starting to turn around on it. So, but the Browns look terrible. I picked them to do well. My whole thing was 80% of Texan Deshaun. This is he is this week 2. I'm calling it. This is my last week on him. I mean, obviously, he's not someone who anyone really wants to root for, but this is my last week on. I'm giving him one last week. Week 2 of the 2024-25 season is the last week to prove he can come back to some stability. Because that was bad. That was bad.
But this is the same Deshaun Watson we've seen throughout his 3 years as the quarterback of Cleveland. Nothing has changed.
I'm giving him one more week. He
has one good half in 4 years.
I don't think that's exactly true.
Okay, but when most people, the most hope that he showed was in that second half against the Ravens,
and he was great. Yeah.
Other than that, there was a stat in the game. He didn't complete a pass over 5 air yards in the first half. That's pathetic.
It's wild.
What's even more daunting for them is that, and I don't know why they did this, but they restructured his contract about a week before the year, and it was before Brandon Ayuk was signed. So it was like, are they going after Brandon Ayuk? Are they somehow going to work out a trade? And they did nothing. And so now in 2025 and 2026, he's a $72 million cap hit, and they can't get out of it. So if it was a normal contract, I would almost think that Jameis would be starting on the horizon at some point here soon. But are you really going to be benching a player that's owed $140 million over the next 2 years? Mm-hmm. No. So it's like they're trapped, and they did this to themselves. I mean, all the off-field stuff, and they still decide to trade for him. There's another civil lawsuit that just came out.
Nuts.
I told you for the year I'm out on Cleveland. I don't believe in Watson. I'm out.
That was bad.
And I originally had them in third place in this division. I don't think they do get to that point unless they start Jameis. I think right now, if Watson starts the entire year, they're a fourth place team. And this is their last year doing anything. This is their last year doing anything. They are not going to be competitive as long as Watson's there. The next 2 years, you cannot build a team. He'll be the highest cap hit of all quarterbacks next 2 years. So, and Cowboys, I mean, on the flip side, Cowboys I still have.
I wasn't done with my Browns.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
But
they're your Browns.
My last week, they're not my Browns, but I guess it's my fault for not realizing that when they gave him the signing bonus to push his cap back, it's my fault for not realizing they weren't going to do anything with that money. That I don't know. I was like, oh, they're doing something. I was like, it doesn't even have to be Ayuk. They have something. I was for sure of it. I was like, that would just be the dumbest thing ever. And they've done good stuff. If you take away Deshaun Watson, they've done good things, even though they signed Judy to that deal, which I didn't like.
Yeah.
But they've done other good things. So I can't believe then they do nothing. And yeah, they're facing the Jags. The Jags, I mean, they lost. They had some good moments. So I think it's a winnable game if Deshaun plays well. It's my last. I'm not rooting for Deshaun. It's such a fall from grace because, man, when he was with the Texans, I remember out of the draft, I wanted the Chiefs to draft him.
I don't know if you want to
and I still don't think that was exactly the worst take because if you watched him on the Texans, he was excellent.
But are you going to say the take you gave?
Yeah, I want him over Mahomes. Okay, you didn't like
No. There was another take you had.
What are you talking? I don't know.
Didn't you compare him to Jordan or something like that, or was that a?
No, that was Dabo Sweet. I said I thought Deshaun Watson would be a Hall of Famer, and he was on the path to it early on, and then turns out really bad guy. How am I supposed to know that? That's not on me. It turns out he doesn't play for 2 years. That's not on me. So I still don't think my take was wrong.
But we also knew all this before we made our predictions last week.
No, yes, but I took the shot, and I think I was wrong. But
I told you early off season,
Logan, I'm giving him one more week. So one more week.
I do want to say early in the off season, I did say that this could be a 7-win team.
No, I fully understood the possibility. I understood that possibility, but in my head, I was just like, I think he'll be better, and I'm probably wrong, but I'm giving it one more week. put that behind my.
He's probably gonna be like
one more week.
0.08% Houston Deshaun. That's probably.
I don't even
what
know
it
if
is
that's
at this point.
high. That's high. He's like the worst
For
quarterback in football.
on the flip side for Dallas, like I said, I still have my question marks about him. It's still CD Lamb dependent. The running game. I mean, Rico Dowdle wasn't that good. Zeke, he was fine.
Zeke looked better than I thought. That was actually like when
I know,
saw
but that he's not gonna. His ceiling's not gonna be much higher than that.
No, I know, but he looked pretty solid.
Jake Ferguson has a sprained MCL. I still have the same exact question marks. I like this game. I'm not gonna. People are saying, "Oh, Dallas is now Super Bowl contenders and all that." I still don't view it like that. Like they played a banged up offensive line with a terrible quarterback. So
okay, I
I'm not
picked
reading
them
too
to
much.
finish last. I did not know Dak Prescott would get signed. That does change everything in my
So what
head.
now? What you have winning the division now?
No, but I think that I'm back to my original take where it was I think they have a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're on opposite sides of that. Let's move on to an actual good football game. The Lions and the Rams on Sunday Night Football. You know, both offenses were kind of choppy. It was 3-3 at one point in the second quarter. But I thought, just watching the game scheme wise, like both offenses are just so creative with their play calling. Lions, I think they're gonna be really good this year. Rams, both of their tackles get hurt. Puka's on the IR. How concerned are you?
Hurt.
Yeah, how concerned are you for the Rams going forward?
I'm pretty concerned. That O-line I thought was going to be really good. It's like all gone, basically.
And Stafford picked up an injury too. Like he hurt his ankle.
Oh yeah, that just happened. So I'm barely even consider that. He's just always hurt. Puka's out for a little while, so that's tough. So now you're basically in the Kyron, Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and how much magic can they make? And if they can sustain themselves through a little bit of this stretch, which I think they're capable of, they'll be fine. But the odds are, I feel like they're still going to be in the playoff run and such, but they're going to have a good end of the year.
What's their next 3 weeks or next 4 weeks? I know they play Cardinals. I want to say they play Green Bay within that stretch. I know they play Cardinals, then San Francisco. I want to say they play Green
Bears and Green Bay. And I'm pretty sure because Jordan Love isn't even ruled out this week, even though he's probably not playing.
He's not playing.
But he's not ruled out, though. My point is he's not ruled out, which means, point is he's not ruled out, so he's probably playing on October 6th, and he's probably going to be fine by then. So I think that's good news to hear from Packers' perspective because you could start.
Packers take injuries very conservative, though. Like Devontae Adams had a turf toe injury, and they held him out 4 weeks.
I think turf toe's worse than turf toe sucks.
No, turf toe is a nagging injury, but a sprained MCL is not. I don't think it's gonna be bad. I think Jordan Love misses 4 weeks, and I think he could. But I think they're very.
They say he's not out. He's not yet considered out, and even the original report was 2 to 4, really. So I don't think he'll. I think he's playing against the Rams. You're saying he's not playing against the Rams on October 6th?
I don't know, but even if he does, I don't think. How many weeks is that?
That'd be the 4th week. They play Colts, Tennessee, Minnesota, Rams.
Even when he comes back initially, there may be some rust. There may be some hesitation on that leg. I don't think he's going to come back right away and light it up.
I mean, I don't think he needs to light it up though. If I'm Packers, I feel fine. I'm obviously not feeling great, but I feel fine. But back to the Lions, Rams. Yeah, Rams. Now I'm much more concerned if I'm the Rams with those injuries. You lost a whole unit and a star, and Cooper Kupp for my fantasy team is going to go off. That's a benefit there, I will say. Cooper Kupp's going to go off. Logan knows about it.
So stupid.
Logan knows about
it. I was up by 15 entering that game with Gibbs and Amon-Ra. I'm like, as long as they both combined, just outscored Kupp by 15.
You still would have lost.
30.
But it would have been close. But because I had McCaffrey, McCaffrey in the lineup, but then
I still would have beat you.
Cleared out. But if they outscore him by 15.
No, I'm saying by 15, and I entered the game up by 15. So I would be up by 30
in that scenario. But outscoring Cooper Kupp by 15, you're acting like that's a simple thing. Like it's not. It's Cooper Kupp.
No. But let's say Gibbs matches let's say Cup scored 15 points for you, and then Gibbs scored 15, and let's say like Amon-Ra scored 12 to 14. That's what I was hoping for.
But you know what? Jordan Mason took you down, but
he needed 5 points. Don't start acting like.
And I won by 15. So
I even texted you. Take me out of my misery
drafted
and my hope.
Christian McCaffrey first pick and knew to draft Jordan Mason. That was me. But back to the Rams.
First pick.
I need to take my wins where I get them after this.
You get the first pick every year.
No, it's about drafting Jordan Mason. I don't want the first pick anymore. But the Rams are kind of in trouble. But the Lions, I think they're secondary because I expected a little better. I know you're guarding Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. Like Tyler Johnson did some nice stuff. Demarcus Robinson did some nice stuff. I know it's the Rams, but their secondary still leaving some holes, I think. But Aiden Hutchinson, I think he may have graduated to an elite defensive end. I think he may be there.
Watching Aiden Hutchinson, it's like, what was Jacksonville thinking? And I know Trayvon, but it's like, man.
You weren't a Hutchinson guy.
I wasn't, but man, it's like, I thought Trayvon Walker was a risky pick.
Yeah, but you didn't think he was first pick.
I thought Hutchinson he was a safe pick, but I don't know what his ceiling was.
You're not big on the Michigan guys. I just realized that. You didn't like McCarthy. You didn't like Hutchinson, and Hutchinson's now going to be probably like a top 10 DN. McCarthy looked.
I never said he was going to be bad. I never said
you, but you said he had a cap ceiling, which was clearly wrong.
Maybe in Jacksonville he doesn't reach that ceiling, but
yeah, but he's obviously really good.
Oh, he is good. He's very good.
Yeah.
He's very good. This game, I mean, Jameson Williams, I think he looks really good. I mean, they have so many options. Like Laporta and Amon-Ra didn't even do that much. Montgomery's really good in the backfield. Gibbs can catch and run out of the backfield.
Montgomery was great.
They're my Super Bowl pick out of the NFC. And to be honest, like if McCaffrey still has this injury, and we'll talk about 49ers here soon as well. I mean, Lions right now, I think they play 14 of 17 games in the Dome. I think they can end up. I think they're going to be the 1 seed. I think they're so good, so well coached, young. They're hungry. I think they're right there. Now, Rams, I said with the Lions going Super Bowl, I had the Rams as my NFC title contestant against the Rams or against the Lions. Hopefully Puka can come back at some point. I still like the Rams, but man, those injuries.
It's tough.
I don't know.
Make it to the playoffs has to be their goal. Just make it in. Make it in. And weather the storm when it happens. Don't overreact. They have a big game this week.
Interesting game.
Yeah.
Game. Would you call it must win?
No. There's not must wins in the first 3 weeks. You're an overreactor.
Well, no, I was mostly joking. But
you called the Falcons game must win, and I thought that was overreacting.
Based on their next 2 opponents, I think it's borderline must win.
It's not even close.
Okay. Next game, the Monday night game. Aaron Rodgers makes his.
Right about.
What, you picked the 49ers to beat the Jets? Congrats.
Well, no, just overall how I felt about the Niners was very. I looked. If you would have. That was my only opinion about how I felt about the 49ers. I look pretty good.
Luke, you probably went like 1 of 30 in your opinions this week.
Yeah,
and congratulations. You picked
and I got this, and I beat you in fantasy. So,
okay,
who's the real winner here?
Take your roses now. I'm more about the long game, man. So you can take your week 1.
No, I bet your week 2 fantasy matchup. You think it's must win?
No, like I said, I'm in for the long game. I'm in for the long game. So the 49ers and the Jets, Aaron Rodgers makes his long-awaited return after only playing 4 snaps on Monday night last year. I think people are kind of overreacting to how the Jets looked. I mean, I do think it's concerning that it's basically Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Allen Lazard. That was the entire offense. Mm-hmm. Those were the only 3 players that caught a pass from Aaron Rodgers. But the Jets aren't going to be playing the 49ers each and every week. And I think, their next 4 games are very winnable. So I could see the Jets still being 4-1 after these next stretch of games.
The Jets, I think there's some negatives, but again, I don't think it's something you overreact about. I think the Niners, with Trent Williams just coming back first game, and he needed an IV in the middle of the game. Ayuk looked bad because he couldn't catch, and there was no McCaffrey. And then they steamrolled them. And I thought Brock looked really good. I think Brock's getting better. think the Niners are just fine. I mean, they steamrolled them. Larry, if I'm the Niners fan, after that 1 week, it's like, okay, we're good. Ayuk will get better. Trent, he'll be fine by next week. We'll wait on McCaffrey. We'll wait it out because we just ran through one of the better defenses in football. Also, did you watch the I know you didn't, the Manning cast?
No, I don't watch that.
So you were at I know we were at the same place, but here we watched the first half in the man cast because it's Bill Belichick, which it took them a while. Bill Belichick couldn't get the timing of like the audio, but then in the second quarter it got a lot better. But he was talking about Bill Belichick. He pointed this out before like it even really started happening a lot. It was literally like perfect timing. No one's really talking about it, but how the Niners struggle when teams line up in bunch and when teams run to the outside. He said that's when the Jets defense struggles, and then like the next two drives, the Niners just run bunch and run outside and just destroyed them. So there's some concern there with the Jets, but Niners I feel really good. The offense of the Jets, the O-line did not look great, but again,
No. I mean
the
they didn't
Niners.
give up any sacks, but I mean Aaron Rodgers was very quick to get rid of the ball, and
The run game wasn't there.
Nathaniel Hackett is not I truly believe it's a like Peyton Manning, Adam Gase situation where Hackett calls a play, and then Rodgers goes to the line and changes the play if he wants to change the play.
I mean,
It's the Aaron Rodgers show.
That can work fine if it works.
They don't run there's no creativity. There's no real pre-snap motion. Hackett's a terrible OC. They tried to replace him during the offseason. Couldn't find anybody to replace him. It's going to be an Aaron Rodgers show, and they have a lot of talent, and I still believe in the Jets, but I don't think they're going to be. A lot of people are saying like a Super Bowl team, they'd be the best team in the AFC. That I just don't think that's going to happen. The coaching, I think, is going to hold them back, and you have a 40-year-old quarterback. So I still think the Jets, like AFC, I'm kind of low on in general. So I still think they could contend for that division. But I don't view this team as a Super Bowl team. I view this team as making the playoffs and probably losing their first game. And they could lose it. Yeah, I had them winning the division, and I still, just based on schedule and just overall strength of the team, I'll still take them. But I don't know. For me, like the 49ers had wide open receivers constantly. Like Brock Purdy played well, but they were wide open. It was like, man.
But this is what I was trying to explain to you about the Niners. They're gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay. And who was it? Oh, Alex Smith. I saw a clip on Twitter. I briefly saw it. I think did he say it on McAfee? I saw on Twitter while I was at work briefly. He said something how he thinks Brock Purdy's the bravest quarterback in the NFL, just staying in the pocket and like waiting for the route to develop and taking the hit. And I think I've noticed that too. And I mean, and that's what I think helps because they get open, but it's because Brock stays in the pocket and waits it out, even when the pressure's about to get there. So the Niners, gosh, I said Super Bowl rematch. I still think Chiefs win, but I think the Niners are still clearly the best team. And if that defense is better than it was last year, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for people.
Yeah, I still, like offensive line is probably the biggest worry for me. But yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
And they were they did pretty well. They ran through a Jets defense.
What that game showed is Hassan Reddick. I mean, his leverage went up after that game for a new contract because they generated no pass rush. So last week we did our predictions episode, but we did not do anything with season awards. So we're going to do that real quick before we get into our week 2 picks. I'll let you start, and we'll just go through these pretty quick. But do you want to start with like the smaller awards, or do you want to start with MVP?
Yeah, let's go smaller awards. So start with Rookies of the Year.
Yeah, let's do Rookies of the Year on both sides.
So obviously this is a little caveat. We get 1 week to sort of base stuff off of. Yeah. I think most of my stuff is the same. I do think this offense Rookie of the Year, I was coin flipped, and it's going to sound kind of illogical how I explain this, but I was coin flipped between Caleb and Marvin, and I know Marvin did nothing. And I think Caleb's going to be great, but based off what I saw from Caleb, I think this year is going to be a little rougher for him. I have Marvin for offense Rookie Year. Then defense Rookie Year, I think it's Turner or Verse. And I just kind of trust the Vikings defense a little more this year with Brian Flores. And I thought Turner was better than Verse coming out. And that was my pick originally. So I'm sticking with Dallas Turner, defense D-Roy.
So I have Dallas Turner as my defensive Rookie of the Year. And I'm going to stick with Caleb because I still think the Bears can fight for a playoff spot. And if they get into the playoffs, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I think if they do that,
See, I don't think that's a lock if they make the playoffs. Because what if they make it like it's a lot of defense, but meanwhile Marvin has 1,200 yards. I think.
Well, if it's anything remotely to what it was on Sunday, then they're not going to be a playoff team. And he won't be throwing under 100 yards. Like
Yeah,
that won't be a
obviously,
consistent thing. But like if it's something like that where the defense has to carry, then yeah, he won't win it. But I do think he'll turn it around. Shane Waldron, I have my doubts about him. I don't think he runs a good offense, but I think Caleb is good enough to overcome that. We'll have to see how it looks. But I'm going to stay with Caleb as my offensive rookie of the year. It could look really bad by halfway through the year because this early season schedule, they have to pick up wins because week 10 on, it's divisional games and really tough games. So, but I think they figure it out. And if they make the playoffs, I think he's going to win the award. Let's move on to let's do comeback player of the year. Let's do comeback player of the
Okay,
year.
so if you would have asked me before week 1, it probably would have been Kirk. It's really high in the Falcons. It would have been Kirk. But I still think they'll be fine and he'll be fine, but you just can't pick him after seeing that. And I think Rodgers will have a pretty solid year, but I just don't think he'll be as big. Anthony Richardson, I really don't think he counts because last year was his rookie year. I know he got hurt and that's why he missed, but that's one that I'm not voting for. Sam Darnold I considered, but I think after Flacco won and he never got hurt, the Darnold thing is going to be like, oh, he's not going to win because they don't want to do that again. So I got Kyler. I think the Arizona offense is going to be pretty solid, and I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but I think he'll have them. I think he could have them close, and the defense is bad, so I think he may carry them in some wins. So I got Kyler.
I have Kyler as well. I think he's going to have to do so much because that defense is so bad, and they really have a lot of good talent on offense. But he's really going to have to carry that team. So I also have Kyler as my comeback player of the year.
2 Cardinal awards for me. That's great.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I know.
They
almost beat the Bills. They almost beat the Bills.
Which I think it says a little bit about the Bills as well. Let's do offensive player of the year. I'm interested to see where you go.
Can we save offensive player of the year?
Okay, fine.
Can we do coach of the year?
Yeah, let's do. Oh, coach of the year. I'm also interested to see what you have here.
I mean, I picked this team to make the playoffs a large part because their coach. They had a great week 1, even though they may have played one of the worst teams in football, even though I did not think that team would be, but they may be. So I'm going Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think it's going to be a surprise. I think that he's going to have a good year with Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold is probably like my second or third for comeback, but the Joe Flacco thing. And, yeah, I think they're going to make the playoffs, and no one really expects them to. And so I think if they do that, he wins it.
I have Jim Harbaugh. Same thing.
That's a good pick.
Same thing as you. I had him as playoff team.
I think more people think Chargers going to make it than they think the Vikings, though.
Yeah, I think so too. But I had to make an argument because schedule wise, they're going to get off to a hot start. I think. I mean, he's already made an impact. They're going to run the ball. That's going to be their identity. Their defense, I thought, played. I know it's the Raiders, but I mean, last year they probably would have given up 27, 28 points in that game. But because they run the ball and because he values defense, their defense has talent. So I think he's going to make them a better defense. So I have Jim Harbaugh as my coach of the year.
No, yeah, my Raiders picked to finish second. I didn't know they'd be playing that bad at quarterback. I tried to tell you caveat. No, but I knew it was a possibility. And doesn't look good after week 1, but let that go. I'll let the Raiders chill for a week or two, but
well, they got the Ravens next, so
yeah.
Good luck. You can't really chill. Let's go.
You know what I mean.
So are you ready to do offense player of the year and defense player of the year now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Which one you just do them both?
Okay. We can if you want, or you can do.
Let's do. Okay. Well, my offense player of the year. This doesn't happen a lot, but I think it's gonna be a weird year. I think he's gonna carry, and so I think Lamar did this. Did Lamar win offense player of the year and MVP? I think
was it his first year he won the MVP?
I think he did. I think he did win both. I think.
I'm trying to remember, but I don't know.
But I got Josh Allen. I think this is I'm not saying the Bills are going to win a Super Bowl, but
wait. So is your MVP pick the same? Is that why you got the
yes,
Lamar thing?
yeah,
Okay.
yes, because I think Josh Allen's going to carry. I think that I think this can be his best season, and especially with Diggs gone and Gabe Davis, and he's thrown to Kincaid and Shakir and Coleman and Matt Collins. He has Cook, which is nice, and Dawson Knox, and the defense is not as good, but and like they got I'm not too worried about the defense. Arizona's a tough offense to play, especially week one. You got a small running quarterback, nice weapons, nice running game. So I'm not freaking out about their defense. But he's gonna carry, man. He's gonna run for like over 10 touchdowns, which was great odds, by the way. Should have taken that before the year. But yeah, and I have them win the division, and I think people are gonna be like, it's time to give him the award. And then the playoffs, still gonna have to take the Chiefs down, which good luck with that. But regular season, I'm all in on Josh Allen. I should have took him in fantasy. I regret not doing that.
My offensive player of the year is Saquon Barkley, and we kind of saw 3 touchdowns in week 1. I think he's going to have a huge impact on this offense. I know a lot of people have been kind of comparing him to McCaffrey and the 49ers. And I think that's kind of been overstated, but I do think he's going to have a huge impact on this offense. I expect him to have a monster season with those weapons on the outside, running the ball. As you know, I'm not huge on the Eagles this year, but I'm pretty confident they're going to be a good team. So I have Saquon.
Who's your good look for me?
Who's your defensive player of the year?
Let's give it up to my boy right here, Chris Jones.
It would also be one. I still think there's I still think he's slightly underrated.
And yes, I agree. I agree. I think he's slightly underrated. You know, as a Chiefs fan, there's 2 players in my life who have been underrated the entire time, even though they're greatness. Chris Jones and Jamal Charles. I was a little kid I got to like 10, and he's still good. Maybe 11, 9. Doesn't matter. Those 2 are so underrated. Chris Jones, I don't think he's going to lead the league in sacks, but I think he's going to be up there. And I think this Chiefs team is going to be the most dominant in the regular season they have been since Mahomes' first year. And I think we're going to be looking at it as the offense can be pretty dang good with Reed and Mahomes, but someone's anchoring the defense. And there may be players with better stats, like Myles Garrett or TJ Watt or Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe he's up there. Aiden Hutchinson may be my number 2 after I watch. But this is Chris Jones' time. The second greatest defensive tackle we've seen in our lifetime, just behind Aaron Donald, and you're not going to be Aaron Donald. But Chris Jones is my favorite player in football. He has been. I was high on him early. This is his moment, brother. He's winning this. He's winning this award.
Well, I have Aiden Hutchinson as my defense player of the year.
That's fine.
And week 1 kind of, I think I really like the Lions this year. I think everything's going to click, and offensively, I think they have no real issues, and defensively, I think he's going to be a game record this year. So I have Aiden Hutchinson as my defense player of the year.
It's a legit shot.
You already talked about your MVP. I don't know if you want to.
No, yeah, I'm good. It's all you.
My MVP, CJ Stroud. It was between him and Mahomes. For me, with Josh Allen, I just don't know if that style of play is sustainable. He already picked up an injury, and it doesn't seem like it's a serious injury, but for me, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that for 17 weeks without getting hurt. So
I think he'll be fine.
And I'm not. It's like Bills. I don't think they're
I feel like you say that every year with Josh Allen, and he's always playing every game, and he does have some injuries he deals with, but he plays.
I don't know. But my pick, CJ Stroud. I think they could end up being the 2 seed in the AFC.
See, I think Stroud has to be very good because they now have Diggs and Joe Mixon. I think he has to be really throws for 5,000 yards, and I think Mahomes Chiefs have to go 15-2 to get it. And so I just think there's too much. Meanwhile, Allen has the storyline that's perfect. He lost his weapons. The defense isn't as good. People are questioning his head coach, and his style is just so much. Mahomes is the best quarterback, but Josh Allen's style is just so much more. I'm taking it over because you can't stop me. It doesn't matter who's on my team. And if they win the division and get a top 3 seed, I think it's his. Top 2 seed, 95% lock. If they get the 1 seed, It's not even a question at
Oh,
all.
they won't get the 1
It'd be
seed.
more
But yeah,
likely that the sky would be what's a weird color? Purple. Well, that happens. I don't know. Tangerine.
I don't know
That
where you're
happens
going,
too.
but they're not getting the 1 seed. So that was kind of a waste of time. But
But if they do, it's over, right? It's his award.
well, yeah, but I don't think that's
If
gonna
they
happen.
get the 2 seed, it's probably his award.
Yeah, I would like to see Houston Buffalo opening playoff matchup.
That'd be fun. That'd be
I
fun.
would like to see that.
That'd be good. In
Well,
Buffalo. In Buffalo.
Well,
That's
let's
more.
move on to our week 2 picks. If you guys knew anything about week 1, just do anything opposite that Luke says, and you'll be fine.
No, I'm ready for a bounce back. I beat you in fantasy. That's all that matters.
Okay. Tomorrow night, Bills at Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 2.5. Mostert's been ruled out. I saw Achane practice today. I'm still not sure if he'll be playing. How do you see this one playing out?
I just went off on Josh Allen winning MVP, and so I can't pick against the Bills. I think he's gonna win MVP, and this is gonna be one of those games. This is gonna be one of those games we remember that I like Bills, but I think it's a good game. But I like Bills.
I'm taking Bills. I'm just going to take the better quarterback. Tua's 1-6 against the Bills in his career. And Dolphins did not look good week 1. Like, in my opinion, they did not look good.
So
Like they got very I think both teams in this matchup got very fortunate to win. But if Etienne doesn't fumble, I think Dolphins lose that game.
Vegas scares me because I just realized I think this is a trap game.
I think Vegas is saying a lot of traps, or not saying a lot of traps, but like they're making people overthink. In my opinion, this week,
that's what they do, but then you gotta.
I'm not gonna. And there's some lines I'm not overthinking. I'm just going with my gut. So
no, this is. I said I want to test this, and I'm making a cool sheet to test this. I need to throw Bills Miami because the Miami 2.5 favorites. Is it at Miami?
It's in Miami. Yes. I would take Buffalo.
I still
plus
think.
odds.
But yeah, that seems kind of like a trap. So I'm gonna throw that in there. I'm gonna throw that in the Google sheet. But I am taking Bills.
Yeah, I'll say Bills win like 24-20. That'll be my score.
I'm going like 31-27. I'm going with the classic, really good game pick, which could look stupid, but
next game, Cowboys host the Saints. Cowboys 6.5-point favorites. Saints coming off a dominant win against Carolina.
My lord.
I think this is a classic letdown spot for one of these teams.
Yeah, I do too, and I think it's the Saints. And so I have Cowboys, and I bet you have Cowboys too. I'd be shocked if you have Saints. It's really, do you have them covering 6.5? And I have Cowboys covering the 6.5. Dak looked good. I kind of like Dak to have a really nice game. CD didn't really practice. He looked good. The Saints, they beat the hell out of the Panthers, and I think they're the letdown team here.
Yeah, I have Cowboys as well. Jake Ferguson's status, I don't expect him to play. I'm still worried about Dallas in general, like I said earlier, but I think
that's fine. That's fine.
They cover the 6.5 at home. I think the Saints' offensive line's not good. Derek Carr's not going to be. Derek Carr threw 3 touchdowns and like 4 incompletions last game, or 5 incompletions last game. Like,
yeah, that's nuts.
This is a classic letdown spot. So I have the Cowboys, and I'll say I'll say Cowboys 27-16. That'll be my prediction.
Okay. If Cowboys, unless they win like by 24, I'm not gonna hate on your opinion. But if they do blow the living hell of the Saints, I will be like, Logan, you gotta look at some things. But yeah.
We saw the same thing last year with Dallas, so they would.
No, yeah, but but you've talked about the regular season. I'm just talking about regular season as well. So
okay. Next game, Buccaneers at Lions. The line I'm looking at now is Lions minus 7.5. So it's moved from 6.5 to 7 to now 7.5.
See, the thing is, Tampa, that's rough. Their secondary's hurt, but I know they played a bad defense in Washington, but kind of getting the feeling that we all kind of pushed them to the side after they played the Lions really well in the playoffs, won the division, and I think Baker's found his place. I think that of all the quarterback contracts, I know it's 1 week, but the Baker one may be the best one. 3 years, $100 million. We could be looking at 4 weeks and be like, that's a steal. It should have been at least 120. So, he's being paid nearly half of what Dak's contract is. They just got. So, I think I like Dak, but I think they're kind of close. I think Baker may be better. This may be perfect. I'm still taking him to lose. I like the Lions, but I'm taking them to cover. I really like the cover here. Played them tough. I think the Lions secondary not being as impressive as I thought they'd be, especially without Puka. I think the Bucks can kind of dice them up a little bit while the Lions dice up Tampa. It's all about blocking Aiden Hutchinson, but you have Tristan Wirfs. So that's a fun game. I think that's my favorite game of the week.
I think this is another letdown spot. So I have Lions covering the 7. Like I think their offense didn't play well particularly well week 1. They had flashes of their scheme and all that. I'm gonna take Lions. I think they win pretty big here. Like you said, Buccaneers 4 players out in the secondary. Their defensive tackle, is it Clancy? Clancy's hurt. They're really banged up on defense.
Clancy hasn't really had a chance to do anything in his career yet. That sucks.
No, and they're not going to stop the Lions offensively.
No, I don't think they will.
And I think Lions, I kind of disagree with you about the Lions secondary. I think they played fine. I don't think they were terrible.
I think you let Tyler Johnson and Demarcus Robinson do a lot, and Colby Parkinson. But the Bucks, if you looked after Puka goes down, the Bucks' weapons are much better because you can argue Mike Evans is better than
but I'll take the Rams scheme over Tampa's scheme any day of the week.
No, yeah, but you can but Tampa's O-line is better than what happened to the Rams when they all fell down. I think it's going to be a good game. I think that Lions are winning. I think it's going to be one of those games where Lions go up like 10-0, but then it's 10-7, but then it's 17-7, and then it's 17-14, then it's 20-14, and then it's 23-14, and it's like that. But Bucks just to keep it there, but they can never get it. So yeah, I like them cover. Good game.
I'm gonna say Lions 30-17.
They're not holding them to 17. I mean, even talking about Aiden Hutchinson, they have Tristan Wirfs. I know you can go on the other side.
I like the Lions this week a lot. I really do. Next game. This is a doozy of a game. Colts at Packers.
It's tough.
Colts favored by 3. If Richardson was more consistent, I'd be so confident taking the Colts
tough.
here. But it's I could also see us after week 2 being like, it was Malik Willis. Why do we not just we know he's bad. Why do we not just bet against him?
This could be LaFleur when LaFleur every once in a while. I've never been his biggest fan, but he dials in every once in a while. And they were open, but I think Jordan Love was off. I think that field was affecting him, and I think it kind of turned into his injury. That I hate games stop playing games in Brazil where the field's garbage. That's annoying. But if this was week 7, same situation, I think I'd be much more confident in the Colts because I think Richardson will be better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Colts -3.5. I cannot touch that for the life of me. I don't know. I think I'd take him to cover because of Malik, even though I was big on Malik once. Still want to do well. So I think I'd take him to cover, but there'd be no way I'd touch the spread of this.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a running game on both sides, but I also think Green Bay's defense was not that great last week. And I think, Richardson, the throws he made, the throws he connects on, they're the best throws you'll ever see. And then he'll miss.
Here's the thing, though. The Packers have a secondary that can pick you off. McKinney, Alexander, Stokes. They all have.
That's why I think this game's going to be the fastest game of the week. I think both teams are just going to run.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be. It will be very.
I'll say Colts win 20-17. I think they push this line. So I'm gonna say 20-17 Colts. I could see it easily. But I just don't trust Malik Willis. He's not played one good.
I think
game.
It's a tough one. Don't hate on my boy Malik. He's a cool dude.
Next game, and this I think is great value. One of my favorite bets of the week. Jets at Titans. Jets are only 3.5 point favorites.
See, this is a game where you have to admit it looks like a trap. It does. And Vegas.
Did you watch Will Levis last week?
No, yeah, I did. It was not good, but it was just it's first week. I'm not gonna die on Will Levis yet. But that pick. But if you take away that pick, that pick was obviously atrocious. But it was just a bad decision. But I'm not gonna because if it was this simple,
there was also another play early in the game where he was falling and he tried to throw it. And
he needs to stop doing that. But that doesn't take away the facts that this seems like the classic, much closer than you think game. It looks like a trap. It just does. I still think the Titans did some good stuff. the defense looks pretty solid for what it is. I think the offense can be better. The Jets defense struggled. It's a weird game. I do have Jets covering and winning, but I'm also it's a trap, and you have to admit you act like Vegas traps don't work. Vegas traps do work. Hence the Steelers game, like that was a trap. We all fell for it, and they got us. And there's more of those in Week 1. They get traps a lot, and I take some account, and so that's why I'm going to be starting my data collecting. But I got Jets. Closer game than you think. I know. You don't believe in the trap. You don't believe in it.
After watching last week, it was way too crazy. I think this week we're going to see either, if it's crazy again, okay, but I think we see a way like just normal week based on. I'm going to take Jets. Will Levis is going to give them the ball, and I know Jets defense didn't play well, but they're not playing the 49ers each and every week, so I think that was also an overreaction by some people. It was still a defense that was really good last year.
I don't even think Jets playing bad and it's close. I think the Titans are going to play better as well. You're acting like
when your head coach says we could have punted on every first down.
Yeah, well, he's not lying.
That's a pretty glaring comment. I think
doesn't mean you can't be better the next week.
Okay, I like the Jets. Maybe it's closer than people think, but I do think they cover the 3.5. The 3.5, I think they would cover.
I have them covering it, but I'm not touching it. That's Colts in those two games not touching at all.
Next game, and I'm interested to see where we're going to pick the same winner here, but I'm curious about the line.
Yeah, we're picking
49ers
over Vikings.
I
think the Vikings cover. I think Vikings cover.
And Vikings beat the 49ers last year.
Yeah, I think Vikings cover. I like what they're doing. I don't think they win. I think for them to win, if they win, I feel so good about my O'Connell pick. But the Niners look really good, but are they really going to curb stomp a second team? So, yeah, I think it'll be a close-ish game, but Vikings, like, backdoor cover is my call. Backdoor, like, late touchdown to, like, Justin Jefferson when you're down, like, 12. Good game.
Yeah, no McCaffrey in this one. I think he's already listed as doubtful. I say 49ers win, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. If it was in San Francisco, I would take 49ers and the points, but I think Vikings cover. We'll see how the defense looks for Minnesota. That's a curious storyline I'm going to watch in this one, but
it is.
I think this game feels like a 24-20, 24-21 type of game where it's a 10-point game late and Vikings put a drive together to backdoor cover. But
wow, we're
pretty. I'll take the Vikings with the points for 49ers to win.
Yeah, we're in agreement there. Look at that.
Next game, and this you're gonna label this another trap game. This is another game. I'm just not gonna overthink. I'm just gonna go with my gut. I'm not overthinking it. Seattle at New England. Seattle's minus 3.5, and I know Seattle struggled early on against Denver, but I mean everybody struggled last week. I think this spot for me. I think this is not even I'm not even second guessing this one.
It's another trap. Well, it's a trap, and you don't believe in the trap, which I think you have to at least believe in it a little. I think that's kind of nuts. You don't.
I believe in traps. I believe in traps. I don't. I never say there's never a trap.
But whenever we talk about traps, you're like, no, I don't see it. You don't acknowledge the traps as much as I do because Vegas is smart and they make money, and you gotta know it. But I do 3.5. If it's 4.5, I think I'd really like the line for Pats. But 3.5, I like it. I think Patriots cover. I think Seahawks do win, so it is that little close thing. I think it'll be a close game. I still don't fully love Geno Smith. I know a lot of people like him. I mean, I think he's solid, but I still think there's something off there a little. Patriots beat the Bengals. They really, they ran the ball really well, and that's a good defensive coordinator, some good defensive talent. And so I like it to be like a 2017er. Brissett does the job.
For me, I think Seattle's defense is going to be much improved this year with Mike McDonald. I think they have more talent than the Bengals have on defense. I mean, they got Byron Murphy, D tackle, your corner, Tariq Woolen, Witherspoon.
Who got benched.
Okay. Yeah, he played well in week 1.
He still got benched.
Yeah. I think last year was bad coaching. I think Mike McDonald is going to elevate this defense. So Seattle, I think their defense is going to not shut down this one, but I don't see the Patriots getting past 13 points. I have the Seahawks winning 23-13. That's my score. I'm just confident. I think talent-wise, offensively, they have the talent to score points as well. You would like to see them be more explosive, but they're going to run the ball too. So I like Seattle to win and cover. Next game, Luke's guy, Daniel Jones, New York Giants. Second place, New York Giants in the NFC East, according to Luke, at the end of the year.
Just flipping talk.
At the Washington Commanders. Commanders are minus -1.5. This one, I'm not betting this game at all. Like, I'm just not.
It's I think this is a everyone thinks Commanders. I think this is a trap, and I'm of Commanders -1.5, and I am fully acknowledging the trap. I think Daniel Jones takes this one. I will say it's similar to my Deshaun thing. Daniel Jones doesn't need a win, but pretty much if he doesn't win,
need to win this one.
Just let me talk, Logan. I don't.
You need to win this one.
You don't need a win for me to be still in on you, but you have to play well. He has to have a good game. He has to have a good game. And so if he doesn't, I'm going to have to do the hardest thing I've ever done in my life and give up on Daniel Jones. And I may cry. That may be very sad for me. But I do have them winning. I think Commanders' defense sucks. I think the Giants had a very, 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 very bad week 1. And everyone's already burying Daniel Jones like they like to do, even though he's won a playoff game and was insanely good in that playoff game. Logan doesn't think so, but he's a fool. But I think they win.
I'm a fool. I've been saying Daniel Jones sucks this whole time.
He won a playoff game more than a lot of your quarterbacks.
That's fantastic. Blake Bortles won multiple playoff games. I see. Like, I don't understand why people bought into the Commanders. Like, there was people saying like they're gonna be a playoff team, push for a wild card spot. Like, do people not remember how bad Cliff Kingsbury was in Arizona as a play caller? Like, he was not a good play caller. They don't have any weapons outside McLaurin. Jan Daniels is not accurate.
Is McLaurin ever gonna have that year? I don't think so.
No, he's 29 now, 30. I mean, he's not. Jan Daniels. He's like 29. I'm pretty sure he's 29.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
Jan Daniels is a one-read quarterback at this point. I mean, the Giants, I think, should win this game because of their pass rush and all that. And the Commanders' defense is so bad. I'm going to take the Giants, but, man, I could see Daniel Jones just spotting the Commanders 10, 14 points. But I'll take Giants in an ugly game. Like, I don't think it's going to be like 20-16 or something like that. It's not going to be.
He's 28. And he turns 29 in 4 days. So, happy early birthday.
Yep. Next game, Chargers at Panthers. Chargers -6. I almost bet them that last week before the game started. They were -3.5. I'm so mad at myself for not doing that.
I think 3.5. I would have taken them to cover. I think this is one where I probably don't want to touch the spread because it's the classic. A team won by double digits, but didn't actually look that good, and that team got blown out. But now they're home. It was their head coach's first game. Okay, when you don't like a team, you always think they're going to repeat, but football doesn't work that way. And so I don't think I think it's going to be an ugly game. This is more the ugly game than your Giants-Commanders one. I think it'll be ugly, but like Chargers, you'll still respect it. One of those things. Like Chargers, like 20-14, something like that. So I think it could be push. I found it at +6. Did you see 6 or 6.5? I guess it depends on the book.
I see 6 right now.
See, if you can get Panthers +6.5, I'd bet it maybe. Or
I may do an alt spread where I do like Chargers -3.5 or something.
That's pretty solid. But so Chargers winning, but I think Panthers cover/push. It won't be a good game.
Derek Brown's out for the year. Panthers arguably best defensive player.
Oh, yeah.
Their defensive tackle. Chargers, I think, may run for 200 yards in this game. I mean, they ran for like 150, 160 against the Raiders. And I know you like the Raiders front.
It also took J.K. Dobbins breaking 2 big runs, and you can't guarantee 2 big runs.
No, I can't guarantee that, but I do know that they're going to run. Like, they ran the ball 20 times, I think, combined. Him and Gus. I think they're going to run the ball 30-plus times in this game. Yeah, I just don't think the Panthers
200-plus yards on 30 carries is a lot. Like, that's a lot.
The Panthers are so bad, and Bryce Young.
No, but yeah, but you're
like I was watching clips of Bryce Young. There was like a podcast I watched, and the guy like put together a quick clip, like a minute and a half clip of like 15 plays. the throws are terrible. Like it's nowhere near anybody. Not even defenders. It's not even near anybody. I think Bryce Young at this point way too small. I just don't think he's gonna work at this level. Now,
yeah, there's a shot.
we'll see.
Which makes me sad.
Carolina, I know they scored 10 points against the Saints and gave up 47.
I think this is a classic bounce back where maybe you don't win, but you look a lot better than you did.
Yeah, I have the Chargers pretty big. I'm going to say Chargers like 24-10. That'll be my prediction. Next game, Browns at Jacksonville. This is a game, really important game for both teams.
Yes.
Especially
this one is much more must win, I think, for both teams than anything else you said was must win.
Okay, I do think
want to
for
call
me,
it must win.
So for me, I think it's almost a must win for both teams. But for me, Jacksonville. Tell me when they're going to be favored again after this game, okay? And if they beat the Browns, maybe they will. But they have at Buffalo, at Houston, versus Colts, at Bears. Now at that point,
are you home against the Colts?
Yes, but at that point, Richardson could be better by that point.
It's still early.
At Bears, like that. I think they're favored.
You're probably not favored against Bears, but that's close. And you're favored against Patriots, and yeah, you're not favored a lot. We'll see. I'm talking
about the next 4 games. I think
I was impressed with them because I thought Miami had an automatic win, and Jacksonville.
I thought Jacksonville should win.
ETN fumbled, but I was impressed with them.
And Jacksonville's -3 in this game. So where are you sitting on this one?
It says Deshaun's last chance, and I was talking about Daniel Jones' last chance.
Oh, don't do it.
I think Daniel Jones is more likely to win it. You're not letting me talk. I think it's more likely that Daniel Jones wins his game than Deshaun does. I like the Jags, and I like them to cover. I wish it's -2.5 instead of -3. I'm thinking a possible push. But Bigsby looked good.
24 pass rush looked good too last week.
Yeah. Armstead got a sack. You're talking, Trayvon Walker got 2 sacks. So if he's good, and maybe they got something going, but I still don't fully trust them. But I think they're gonna beat the Browns, and I think I feel like I'm gonna give up on Deshaun, but it's not like I was cheering for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm giving up on the prospect of him being a good football player.
Yeah.
That's my guess. What's gonna happen?
I like Jacksonville too. The Browns' offense is completely inept, and their offensive line's banged up. I think they had multiple players be put on the IR this week. Like, it was like 4 to 5 players were already put on the IR. So they're beat up. Deshaun's terrible. Yeah, I'm going to take Jacksonville. I think they cover, and I don't think there's any way that – I'm not going to say it's a blowout, but I don't see Browns pushing this line at all. I would say it's like a 6-7 point game for Jacksonville. And it could be worse than that.
Agreed.
It could be worse than that. Next game, Raiders at Ravens. Ravens -8.5. Well, I think this is a prime bounce back spot for the Ravens.
I do. I'm going to take them to cover. I'm a little concerned that the Ravens O-line didn't look great, and I think they're going to get better, but you are facing 2 really good pass rushers. But then the more I thought about it, they're just going to run the hell of the ball. And so they're going to cover. I think this is Derrick Henry could have a massive game. And Lamar ran for a lot last week. I think Derrick Henry has a massive game this week. And I don't trust the Raiders offense. I gave him a shot, and I don't know why I gave him a shot. But I like Ravens to cover, bounce back. They looked better at the end. Mark Andrews, I think the Ravens' weapons are better than we think, as long as their play calling is better, which Todd Monken has shown it can be, but he's also shown the ability, I think, against big teams. He gets a little flaky in his play calling, but the Raiders are not a big team. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Ravens, they failed to play to their identity when they play the Chiefs. I think you're going to see more of their identity in this one, physical football, run the ball. I think they win this game by 20-plus points.
That's really possible. I'm not going to go there, but it's possible.
I really see a blowout in this one. I don't think – if it was in Vegas, maybe the Raiders' offense does a little bit, but on the road, Baltimore's defense, I think they're going to take a step back this year, but there's still talent on that side of the ball. I don't have any faith in the Raiders and Gardner Minshew, and I don't like Luke Getsy, their offense coordinator, and Pierce is stupidly conservative. They punt on 4th and 1 with less than 5 minutes left in the game on the Chargers' 40-yard line. So I have no faith in the Raiders.
I think Ravens may be my pick 'em. I think I may just say, do you know what? A lot of people lost with the Bengals. I just want to guarantee a pick 'em. My survivor pool, I may just go because you're not picking Ravens probably until Washington. Oh, that'd be a nice pick though. But yeah, Ravens gonna win the game.
That was the noon slate. We will now move to the 3:00 slate. Rams at Cardinals. Cardinals -1.5. This one's very interesting to me. I did make a bet before Monday night with the Rams in my bet, and that's probably the one pick that I'm very scared
that's
about.
not good value. That's not good value anymore. They could still win, but it's not good value.
Well, no, I got them at plus odds.
Oh really? Wait,
That's
before Monday night. I thought you meant before Sunday night.
No. I did it.
Okay, never mind. I'm so torn, but I saw enough from the Cardinals, and the Rams got really hurt. I think it's down to the wire, so I wouldn't even touch the 1.5 spread. If I was betting this game, I'd just take pure money line, win the game. So I can see it being like 24-23. Yeah, 24-23 Cardinals. But no, that's goofy. I don't know if I'm taking the spread or not, but I'm going to take Cardinals. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a little sloppy, entertaining. Give me Cardinals.
I think we're going to see Blake Corum a lot in this game. Not
better.
Not
that was stupid. He didn't play at all.
I think he's going to see like 30% of the workload. I still think Kyron's going to dominate the backfield. I think this is going to be a running game.
But Ronnie Rivers was getting carries over him.
He's a rookie learning a complex system, but I do think the Rams are going to lean on the run game in this matchup. I'm going to trust the Rams. I'm going to trust Sean McVay. I'm going to trust Stafford. I think they'll figure it out. It may be ugly, but I think they win, and I think it's going to be like 27-21, something along those lines.
6? That's a lot.
Yeah. Next game, man, there's a lot of like just ugly games this week. Steelers at Broncos. Many thought it'd be the Russell Wilson revenge game. I was kind of on the Justin Fields side during the
You got nuts injury. You're not right because of that. Right because of that.
Okay.
You're not. I literally said think injury, and that's what's happened.
Steelers -2.5 on the road.
I think I like him to cover. That defense really good, but I do think it's a close one. I think Broncos, I think it's like a 17-14 or a 16-13 or yeah, something like that.
I don't. The over/under is 36.5.
Yeah, I think it's under.
I don't know if a team gets to 20 points.
That Steelers defense good. I think the Broncos are better than how they played in that second half. I think the snap count for the receivers was ridiculous. Just way too many snaps for some people.
And they abandoned the run game.
Little Jordan Humphrey got like 20-ish snaps. It's like he's.
I still don't know how good Sean Payton's definitely like innovative mind. But
he definitely has.
He could be overrated, man.
He overthinks it. Okay, he was like 7-0 with Bridgewater. I think people forget that type of stuff. That's impressive. 5-0. That's still really good. I mean, he's a Super Bowl winning coach. Is there a chance he lost his fastball and he's tried to get too complicated? Maybe, but I think Nick's better. Nick's was forcing it a lot and stuff, but 2.5 Steelers. It'll be ugly, but I probably wouldn't love betting this game because I could see Broncos winning. But what I think is 2.5.
Yeah, this Bo Nix, he may be in for another long haul. Rookie quarterback against this defense, who we just saw dominate the Falcons on the road. It could be another game where the defense kind of carries. Now, Justin Fields, just don't turn over the ball, and I think they win this game. It's not a guarantee that he won't turn over the ball, but I think as long as he takes care of the ball, they'll win this game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's like it may be like 17-10,
yeah,
17-13,
ugly,
17-14, something like
ugly,
that.
Yeah.
Bengals at Chiefs. Bengals coming off an ugly loss to the New England Patriots. Joe Burrow. I don't know if Joe Burrow is. I don't think he's 100% healthy yet with the wrist. T. Higgins didn't practice today. Chiefs are -5.5 right now.
So I'm obviously picking the Chiefs, and I'm not huge on the Bengals, but they do play the Chiefs well. And it seems like no matter what's happening, they keep it close. So 5.5 is a lot of points, even though I don't trust Joe Burrow's wrist.
The thing is, does your opinion, if Higgins is out?
I still think it's 5.5. I maybe wait for Higgins to be declared out and still bet it. I just think they keep them close. It's just more.
If Higgins is
out,
it's
not the most logical. No, I fully understand. It's like not the most logical. They just play them well every time, and it's week 2, and they just lost to the Patriots. So I think overall their team will play better. Maybe Chiefs, they let it go a little. But Chiefs are gonna win, but 5.5 Bengals.
I don't think Chiefs. I don't think you can say the Chiefs are going to have the mindset of this is a
Not the
game where
mindset. They just kind of let it go. I'm not saying like they. I think
no,
they
but
just
but
let
it's
it
the
go.
Bengals. They are not. No matter what, they're not going to let it go. They're not
But
going
they
to let
do.
it.
But even
So,
last year, it was closer than it should have been. There's no Burrow.
well, that was there. Yeah, there's no Burrow, and I think Chase was also got hurt. I think
Yeah, they just
if
keep
Higgins
it.
doesn't
That's what I'm saying.
if Higgins doesn't play, they're just going to double Chase, and that's what the Chiefs usually do is that they double. They take away the best option, and I think if Higgins isn't out there, Bengals are going to have a long day. And Bengals defense, Chiefs offense. I mean, it's too bad Hollywood Brown's not going to be playing, but I don't know how Cincinnati's going to be stopping this offense.
They do well. They play it well. I think it's just they. I'm just going based off they always do it, and it's a lot of points. I don't even know if this is a trap because there's good arguments on each side. But
I'll say Chiefs like 24-17, 24-16. So I think they slightly cover.
I got Bengals covering.
Okay. I think that's it for the 3:00 games. So we will now move on to Sunday night. I was really looking for this matchup before week 1. I don't know how good it's going to be now. Bears at Texans. Texans are -6.
I think this could be the blowout. I really like Texans. I think they can blow them out. I think that the offense may get going a little more. I think the Texans offense got going, but they faced a division rival and they kept it closer. I think Texas blowout to near blowout.
Yeah, I mean, it's tempting to say Bears +6, but I still think it's gonna happen. I think Houston will take care of business, and I don't think Roma Dundee will be playing. And the offensive scheme is not good. And Caleb, I don't think is gonna magically turn things a complete 180 from week 1 to week 2. I think he's gonna be better. He's not gonna be as bad as he was, but he's not going to be lighting the world on fire in week 2. So I'll take the Texans at home -6.
Mm-hmm.
Blowout may be a stretch, but I think they do win by 9-10 points.
Mm-hmm.
Monday night, I'm actually very curious what you say here. Falcons at Eagles. Eagles are -6.5.
So it's all about Kirk, as I've said. If Kirk was healthy, I'd pick him. But I think he'll look better, but I don't think he'll look fully Kirk. That's just a guess. It's gut feel. So I got Eagles to win, but I do have Falcons cover. It could be a backdoor cover, but I think Falcons are going to look better.
Kirk Cousins is the king of backdoor covers in garbage time. So yeah.
Why do you hate Kirk Cousins? He's like
I don't hate Kirk Cousins, but I think he's overrated.
You're such a hater, Logan. You hate everyone but 5 players.
That's not true.
Who talks bad about
his
Kirk
record
Cousins?
is not as a professional.
But who talks bad about Kirk Cousins? You're like,
he's a good person. I'm not saying I hate the person.
No, but you talk bad on every quarterback that's not
made.
Every quarterback that's not named Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance for some reason. And Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I don't like Josh Allen.
You talk bad on everyone else.
Josh Allen. I don't like Josh Allen. Okay.
You don't give him the respect he deserves. You don't give him the respect he deserves. You always talk.
I think he's the second best quarterback in the league.
No, but whenever you talk about him, you don't talk about the positive. You talk about his playing style. It's like,
I don't think it's sustainable.
Yeah, but that's your main.
I'm not saying he played bad.
But that's your first point. No, but that's your first point every time he's mentioned, and it's ridiculous.
What's your pick?
You should stop mentioning that first, maybe 4th or 5th. But Falcons are cover, Eagles win. I got a lot of these games that are
covered. That we said.
Yeah, but you can make your pick. I'm doing something.
For me, the biggest key to this game is the Eagles' pass rush. If they can get consistent pass rush, this game could be pretty ugly for Falcons. So, but I'll take Eagles. I'll say Falcons cover, but I'm with you. I think it's more of a backdoor cover than them actually staying competitive game. Now, Jalen Hurts, we'll see. I mean, he threw. Did he have 2 interceptions or 1? I think he either had 2 or 1 interception. But he easily had 3, and one of them could have been pick 6. So
yeah,
but
I think overall good, but he had bad plays too.
Yeah, I think Eagles win and Falcons may keep it within 6, but I could see it be a touchdown game.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the Falcons or the Eagles barely cover.
Mm-hmm. I have of the 6-point spreads and more. I have 3. So I have all the favorites winning, but 3 of them covering, 4 of them the loser covers.
I think I had a lot of teams covering this week, like favorites covering.
No, you did. You did because you had Lions, you had Texans and Ravens, like I did. You had Cowboys. What's the other 6-point game? You had Chargers. Did you have Did you have every team 6 points and above covering?
Did I? Who was a man?
Oh well, just Eagles. You kind of said.
I think Falcons cover with you. I think
that's
maybe garbage time.
That's the only one that you picked.
Yeah, I think this week is going to be a lot of. I think last week was so crazy. I think we're going to see a little bit of normal.
But isn't it not normal if there's 7 blowouts?
I mean, that's also true. But for me, I don't know. When I look at these lines, I'm just going with my gut this week. Because last week it was I'm going with my gut, and maybe I fall flat, but that's how I see it playing out.
Well, you're gonna do better than me, basically, except you didn't beat me in fantasy. So
okay, I can't wait. I can't wait. I want this fantasy season to play out so well or so bad because I've heard Luke say he beat week 1 18 times in the last 3 days.
You're not going to be able to compete with Jordan Mason, Jalen Wright, and Tank Bigsby, baby.
Have you seen your games?
my team's kind of a mess, but I'm going to know.
Yeah,
I need.
I
need Kirk Cousins and if Kirk Cousins and Deshaun Watson could be a lot better for my receivers, that'd help a lot. But if not,
that is about one of the worst sentences. Kirk Cousins is fine, but you have to depend on Deshaun Watson. Good.
I mean, get Jameis in there, and I'm good because he will chuck that ball to.
I think they should start Jameis, but
you can't start him. You can't start him.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can't do it. You can't do it. I don't even know when the earliest they would start Jameis.
They could have just kept it with Baker, chilled out.
Okay, the thing is, with hindsight, I don't have a problem with getting rid of Baker at that point because at that point he was playing bad. But maybe go for a different option. But I don't have a problem with the process of getting rid of him. It kind of ran its course there. There's a lot of hindsight saying you should have kept Baker.
Oh yeah, but you got rid of a guy who was liked by your city, who fit the city. He had some swagger, and you got a guy with no swagger, a weirdo. No one likes him. Don't even know if he likes football anymore. That's bad.
No, but I think hindsight is always 2020. So.
But you lose hindsight when you pay a potential person who has potentially did terrible things and you give him a fully guaranteed contract. You lose some of the benefit of the hindsight.
Yeah. Well, that will do it for our episode this week. We'll be back after my strong picks in week 2 next week. We'll see how Luke does. I think we actually agreed on most of our picks.
An okay amount.
Usually we disagree on almost.
Yeah, everything. We disagree on a lot, but I think we agree more than we think. We just kind of gloss over what we agree on. I think the week 1 we really disagreed, and I did not do well.
Yep, I'll probably the same trend week 2. So hopefully you can bounce back week 3 with your Super Bowl. I know it's gonna be Luke's Super Bowl. Browns against the Giants. That'll be Luke's Super Bowl game.
Well, no, there's a chance I'm done with both of them. If they both lose and both play bad, I'm done with them. I will. Is that the what game is that? Isn't it like a London
week 3?
Yeah, but isn't it like a?
No, the London game. The Giants plays against the Panthers.
What is?
That's later in the year, I think.
Okay, this will not be on our Sunday ticket, no matter what happens. I refuse. If they both lose and look bad and I give up on them, we're not watching it. I refuse.
So you're telling me if the Giants win, you're gonna force me to watch that as one of the new games?
Well, no, we don't have to, but I'm just telling you, you don't know what happens. There's a chance they each look good, and
I'm not watching Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson, dude.
Okay, well, what if it's Malik Willis and Will Levis?
Oh my God, we're not watching that either.
No, I think you got to pick one.
I have to pick one.
Well, yeah, because one's going to be on the main screen. Then we have 4 screens, and I don't like the 3 screen on Sunday Ticket. I honestly would rather watch. It's
you know what?
Weird.
For pure comedy and your stupidity of backing both those quarterbacks, we'll do the Giants Cleveland.
I didn't fully back Deshaun. I just took a no. It's
you
different.
Said 80% of Houston.
I said if he gets that, and I took the shot.
And
I'll give you the Daniel Jones. I'll give you the Daniel Jones thing.
What place did you have Cleveland? Second? I believe you had second.
Okay, yes, but I think it's different because I fully caveated. If Deshaun's just done, he's just done. But I'll give you
that postseason started. I tried telling you that before the season
I'll
started.
give
I
you
tried
the
telling you a
Daniel
lot of
Jones.
things before the season
Hey,
started, and you didn't
hey,
listen to me.
Sean has one more week to do something.
He's done.
And I don't even know
All
if I
right.
want him to do it. I probably am actually rooting for him not to do it. Just I'm actually gonna root. He does bad. Go
Yeah.
Jags.
That will do it for our episode this week. Like I said, we'll be back next week with our week 2 reactions and week 3 picks and more storylines to come.
Peace.